Yo, it's Jimmy Humphries, and this is Grit City Punk.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Grit City Punk, Tacoma's underground punk, hardcore, indie, alternative, yada yada yada, etc. source for music and news and scene happenings and cool interviews. I'm Jeremy, of course. I'm your host. Great to be here. Great to have another show for you guys to listen to. I hope everybody's having a really good start to their summer. I think school's out for most everybody now. Huge congratulations to everybody that graduated this year, high school, college, what have you. It's a huge accomplishment. I hope you're really proud of yourselves if you are one of those people. We've got a rad show for you today. I've got an interview with the Pounding in the Nail photographer, Jimmy. Really good dude. It was an absolute honor to interview him and talk to him about his life and about the scene and whatnot. So that's coming up later on in the show. We've got a ton of new music to talk about and some big show announcements going out towards the end. I was going to use this segment of the show to talk about Capitol Radio Day. Unfortunately, I was unable to make it to Capitol Radio Day due to circumstances, but it looked like it was really rad, and I hope that everybody that went had a great time. Also, Punk Prom looked really cool, so if you were at that, I hope you had a blast because it looked really cool. And just a quick PSA from me, your friend, your homie, Jeremy, to all of you dudes out there coming to shows. Like, do we really have to talk about consent now in the Big 2-6? Nobody has the right to touch another person without consent. If you are groping, touching in any kind of inappropriate way, anybody in the pit or at a show, you are a piece of shit and you need to just go fucking somewhere else. Especially when these girls, these women are underage. Like, dude, seriously, get a fucking grip on reality and get the fuck out of this scene. You do not have a right to touch a woman. You do not have a right to talk to a woman or anybody for that matter, in a creepy way, in a suggestive way, or in exploitive way. So for all of you men out there participating in that kind of nasty behavior, fuck off. Don't come to any more fucking shows. If I see that shit at my show, you're getting called the fuck out and you're getting kicked the fuck out. Bottom line. And if you're the type of person that can't help yourself, if you just have to fucking do it, go fucking somewhere else. Okay? Go fucking fill yourself up at home. Don't come to any shows. Pieces of shit. Tired of fucking hearing about this shit. It's 2026. We should not have to be fucking policing this shit. It's bullshit. With that off my chest, let's talk about music, because that's why the fuck we're here, right? Let's talk about it. Okay, new music. Here it is. We're going to start with a Seattle band called Worms in Dirt. They've been around for a while. They're gearing up for an album release. The album will be called I Almost Touched a Fish. It's due out on July 10th. And the latest single from that to drop is called Ford Explorer. I think it's pretty damn rad, and I think you will think the same. So let's hear it now.
Easy for
Post-punk synth band from Bremerton, Russian Blue, has dropped a new single. The single is called For the Sake of It. And I think this is pretty cool. It's got a fat bass line that just kind of rolls around with some swirling synths and stuff. Really has like a 80s new wave / 2000s indie rock kind of feel to it. I really like what these guys are doing. So check it out. This is Russian Blue with the new single called For the Sake of It. The band Trash Panda Go-Kart has dropped a new single. This is a Bandcamp exclusive, like I think all of their music is. And this is a cover of Only Happy When It Rains from Garbage. Incredible song. Fucking love that song. Trash Panda Go-Kart does a fun little stripped down cover of it. And I think it's a lot of fun. So go check this out on Bandcamp and support the homies in Trash Panda Go-Kart.
I'm only happy when it rains. I'm only happy when the news is bad. It's not an accident, I told you that. I'm only happy when it rains. Pour your misery down. Pour your misery down on me. Pour your misery down. Pour your misery down on me. Pour your misery down. Pour your misery down on me. Pour your misery down. Pour your misery down on me.
Your favorite experimental punk band from Seattle, Black Ends, has been in the studio for a while cooking up some new goodies. They just dropped the first one. It's called All I'm Bone, and this song is a fucking banger. It's got all the cool, weird guitar noise and awesome riffs that Black Ends is known for. If you've seen Black Ends recently, you've heard this song. It's been in their rotation for a while, but the recording has debuted last week. It's called All I'm Bone, and it's the first of many, a few singles that are going to be dropping from them, gearing up for a bigger release at a future date. I wish I knew. I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited for Black Ends, and I can't wait to hear what's next. But also at the same time, like, I'm still bumping this. All I'm Bone is a banger, and I love it. So check it out.
Sway and go, really come for me. Got no energy to find my gun. Force my mind to make it up for me. Quiet and at peace, all alone. All I'm
This next one is something that has been on repeat for me since it came out. Relative newcomer to the scene, and unfortunately, like a flash in the pan. I mean, just like that, they're already gone. The band is called Made Up Words. They're from Bellingham. They dropped a few weeks ago. I played it on the show, a double A-side single. Well, just this last weekend, they dropped 2 more songs combined with that to make a 4-track EP. It's called Aren't They All, which is a fun play on Made Up Words. but aren't they all? Really clever title there. Kudos to that. Honestly, I've been hooked on this EP and really into this band. And unfortunately, just as they're releasing music, they're gone. Hopefully it's just a short hiatus. A few of the members are going off to college or work elsewhere. So the band is kind of on hiatus for now. Hopefully they come back and play some more shows. I would love to have them down here in Tacoma for a Grit City Punk Rock show. So if you're hearing me, I know I've already reached out. Let's talk as soon as you guys are ready, because this band is the shit. So Made Up Words from the EP Aren't They All? This is a track called A Cry for Attention versus A Call for Help.
A mess, but more of a slowly sinking ship. Drew back into myself till I am with the rules of common sense. When something feels good, I'll choose it right back down. Not noticing the screws that fall each time I unhinge the stand mount. I'm running laps around these habits, not as bad as they once were. Half the fun, cause each crash course collides with something worse. My heart runs on automatic, shifted to the wrong gear. And when you're this far off the road, it's hard to know which way to steer. I set myself on fire just to feel it burn my skin. No longer used to feeling grounded, all in the thrill of it. Going crazy on suicide, yeah, you got lost time. You think you deserve everything, just 'cause you made it out alive. Except for when it really counts. 'Cause when I try my best, it always feels so jumbled coming out. My guilty conscience still spells out every place I went wrong. I'm not that likable, but when I laugh, people smile along. I'm running laps around these habits, not as bad as they once were. Half the fun, 'cause each crash course collides with something worse. My heart runs on automatic, shifting down the wrong gear. When you're this far off the road, it's hard to know which way to steer. I set myself on fire just to feel it burn my skin. No longer used to feeling grounded, all in the thrill of it. Going crazy on suicide, running on lost time. You think you deserve everything, just 'cause you made it out alive. Too tired to walk out the door when the blinds couldn't be held.
And next, the homie Truancy has dropped another single. That's one a month. He's been doing it all year. So this is number 6. Was Bandcamp exclusive, although it should be coming to streaming soon. That's the way it's been going with him. This one is called Twins Freestyle, and it's an absolute banger. So check this out. This is my homie and yours, Truancy, with Twins Freestyle.
Yo, some of y'all have never been kicked out of a funeral for smoking weed, and it shows. Go back further, heart pumping the blood of Nat Turner. Flip the script and turn a lynch into a mass murder. Gap burner, the stack earner, you lack fervor. All I do is spaz, blow out backs and crash servers. You heard of him and I'm here to disturb the curse again. Tend to blur the lens, they all trying to see what lurk within. She heard the murmuring, now she want me to turn her into a quick learner. Lift the skirt bender, insert the girder in. It'll be a cold day in hell before I take a nail. Facing my assailants adjacent, these haters fake as hell. Waiting for a vacancy, hankering so they may as well take a shot. Except this ain't the grassy Drake on spinning wheels. The dichotomy is weird. I be looking at my whip like I'm looking at my sig. Like started from a Taurus, now we hit. Started with a heart forever hard, and now I see the dream clear, yeah. And best believe if that sig stop working, I'm throwing hands like Jeffrey Dahmer when his fridge stop working. Stay in the stew like a ham hock. All these cats landlocked, sell they soul for drip, top shot or faking silly loot. We would rather get at you, active since the city youth. Smoking on an army strong, looking like a ghillie suit. I put everything I have into everything that I wrote. Ill with a pen since a zygote. Raised by the underground, mycelium and microbes. So if there's only 2 things that I know, 1, you can always tell society is facing end of days. How they prioritize the comfort of the rich. By the way it treats the citizens it can't easily profit from. And 2, Roddy Largo a whole ass bitch. Yeah, and you don't stop. Flipping 16s, turn the booth to a dope spot. Yeah, and you don't stop. Truancy true to be calling shots on these mascots. Yeah, and you don't stop. Quit running ragged with the Ruger, make a ballad for the shooters. Yeah, and you don't stop. Cause it's 187 on the fucking fascist mob. What I'm crafting like a jeweler, pop tops off medullas, making dollars off computers like a doctor with the sutures. Loved by those that matter, legend in my own hood. Silky like a spider, I'm too fly for my own good. Tried to be a poet, what's the bet that I would settle for a rock star? Heavy metal tucked and I darken the stars of old gods. I can see you with the locked arms. Tell your little bandmates that truancy's a lost cause. Why would I value the opinion of another when it's not about the genre? Trust is deeper than punk rock. 2 sticks, whole set of drums in the back. You gon' hear blast beats when the trunk pop. Trust me, for some seeing elbows on the table, halt movement. I used to do it, so trust that I'm used to it. Running routes, chilling out in circles where you can't go. In the top story, whipping glass like Django. Used to make money off of shovels like the gold rush. Wifey yelling at me like, no more cooking dope up. Weed seeds to seedlings, petroleum converted to gold like 3 kings. I do this in my sleep, I sold crude oil by the boat. So I'm guessing I can move these streams, not resorting to anchoring myself to hype half-wits. They ain't seeing real work, cause if they dip, they abandon ship. They hit, ran, they dip. When that SKS get the spray and plantain chips. Fuck your real estate, standing on business like Godzilla. And I ain't never walking back regardless of when it was set. 1 fist in the air, wearing my chain anywhere. I ain't tucking shit, I don't even put the kiss to bed. Yeah, and you don't stop. Flipping 16s, turn the booth to a dope spot. Yeah, and you don't stop. Truancy true to be calling shots on these mascots. Yeah, and you don't stop. Quit running ragged with the Ruger, make a ballad for the shooters. Yeah, and you don't stop. Cause it's 187 on the fucking fascist mob. Yeah, 187 on the fucking fascist mob. Yeah, 187 on the fucking fascist mob. Cause it's 187 on the fucking fascist mob. Yeah.
Okay, and this is kind of a big one for me. It should be for you too. The band Killbuzz. You've hopefully seen their name around, seen them on some flyers. Maybe you've been lucky enough to see them at a show. I think they've only played like a half a dozen shows so far. Or it's hard not to say, I should say, that Killbuzz is kind of Tongues 2.0, because that's not really fair to the new band, but honestly, it kind of is. So this is Dylan from Tongues, and Cameron, the guitar player from Tongues. This is their new band. It's called Killbuzz. They've been absolutely blowing up the scene. They finally released their first single. It's called Talk Rot. It actually came out today, Monday, the 8th. Maybe you're hearing it for the first time here, or maybe you've already spun it a few times. Either way, this is such a cool song, and I'm really excited for this band. I really just can't wait for them to come south to Tacoma, play a show here. I'm going to try to catch them wherever they're playing soon, because they are absolutely crushing it. So this is Kill Buzz with their debut single called Talk Rot. Next up, Olympia band Dull Roots just dropped an EP. It's called Hello Nowhere. And this is kind of like a post-punk. It's got some emo in it. It's got some grunge in it. Really cool, interesting style they've got going on here. There's some ripping guitar solos. There's some heavier stuff. Just all around, it's a nice blending of influences. So this is a song called Conflagrate, and it's from the Hello Nowhere EP from Dull Roots. Check it out.
Conflagrate.
sometimes Seattle, sometimes LA based band, Mr. Dinkles. You know them. You love them. They play up here all the time. They've got roots here. I think they're based out of LA for the most part, but they do have roots here and they play here often. I'm sure you know them. I'm rambling here for no reason. Mr. Dinkles just dropped an EP. It's called RIPT, Ripped. Probably stands for this EP is really fucking cool, because it is. So you've heard most of the songs from the EP. Of course, there's the Eat Chips and Talk Shit. There's the Socialism Ditty. You've got the Letter to Elon. All absolutely ripping songs. This song is called Grinding My Teeth. And honestly, if you're sleeping on this band, wake the fuck up, because they're really cool. And this is a great EP that they put out. Really excited for them. So check this out. This is Grinding My Teeth from Mr. Dinkles.
Grinding my teeth against the hard-ass concrete. Said this was easy, and now I'm grinding my teeth, grinding my teeth. I'm really sorry, I guess I'm kinda ditzy, a bit sporadic. It's getting harder to breathe, grinding my teeth. You looking pretty on the back burner. Too many things that you wanna conquer. Why don't you put your money where your mouth is? 'Cause I feel the rising of the temperature. Give me that attention. 'Cause yeah, I'll make a fool out of me on my phone. If that means I'll get a job, look at me, I'm so funny. Are you entertained? Easy to absorb for your writing brain. 30-second phases that slip away to the next one. Grinding my teeth, what else was I expecting? A handed paycheck or just a good job, sweetie? Grinding my teeth. You're looking pretty in the nice background, patiently waiting for the next phone call. Why don't you put your money where your mouth is? 'Cause I feel the rising of the temperature. Give me that attention. 'Cause yeah, I'll make a fool out of me on my phone. If that means I'll get a job, look at me, I'm so funny. Are you entertained? Easy to absorb for your writing brain. 30-second phases that slip away to the next one.
Next up, another newcomer on the scene. They're called Velleity's End. I hope I pronounced that right. Velleity's End. They're from Seattle. They do kind of like a shoegazy, post-punk kind of alt-rock thing. It's really cool. They just dropped their first single. The single is called Teeth, and you can check it out right now.
I'll be your dog. Do anything you say. What's right and wrong won't matter anyway. How far I'll go disappears into you. Make myself so numb to be in your way. If you explain me. No.
Finally, the band No More Death Stars has dropped. It's like a mini EP. It's called California Funeral, which is actually going to be an LP, a full length that's releasing in September. This is a 3-song movement from the album. The 3 songs are basically like one piece of music. It all flows together. Like the first time I listened to it, I was like, wow, that was a really long song and that's it. But no, it's 3 songs and they're all connected and it's really cool. There's a lot of really neat music stuff going on here. Different tempos, different time signatures, cool riffs, really heavy shit. The track that I'm going to play for you is the middle section. It's the second track of the 3 called How I Learned to Stop Loving and Be the Bomb. This is a really cool project. This is my introduction to No More Death Stars. I'm not really familiar with their work. I know they've been around, but yeah, this is really cool. So I'm definitely going to check out their other stuff now, and you should too. And look forward to California's Funeral, the LP due out in September. But for now, this is How I Learned to Stop Loving and Be the Bomb. It's streaming everywhere. Go check it out.
Desert with my homies. No one bothers us out here anymore. We are misfit whores, we're kid cowboys, we're broken toys. No one plays with us out here anymore. And now I'm telling all these stories to my best friends about how we are going to die. I think the government is watching all of us, 'cause I told them how they're going to die. This is how I learned to stop loving. This is how I learned to stop loving you and be the bomb. You can be the bomb. I am the original emotion.
I'm Jimmy Humphries, and I am a photographer slash videographer slash too many other trades I'm a jack at in Seattle.
How did you get into the punk scene?
Complete accident. Absolute and total accident. Yeah, I'll try to make the story as brief as I can because I'm very long-winded. But it's kind of on a dark one in Everett. And I was at this weird place where like I was really just self-pitying, didn't really have any friends, didn't really have anything going for me. Made a lot of interpersonal mistakes. So I was just kind of like, no one really wanted to rock with me anyways. And walking into this art gallery out there called Black Lab. It's gone now. But ended up walking in there because like one of the last friends I still had around showed me that there was like art shows and stuff there. And I was like trying to do art at the time, so I figured I would walk in. And it turns out the night that they had an art show, they also had a music show, like they had a concert going. And I had no idea at all. I was just like kind of awkwardly sitting there, like staring at the walls, like completely oblivious that there was music going around me. And I just hear someone from the end of the room, Jimmy Humphries, and I'm like, who the hell knows me here? And like, after all the wreckage I'd caused, it's just like kind of wild that someone would want to like hit me up. So I was like, wait, who knows my name? And I walk over and it was this kid that used to ride scooters at this park that I used to work at, the Mukilteo YMCA. He told me that he apparently was in a band called Clothing Optional that had played earlier that night. And I was like, oh, dude, that's so sick. And I was rocking like disposable cameras at the time a lot. And I kind of like told him that I was just like taking random photos of just like whatever. Because I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just kind of like getting way too lit and just like taking photos of everything. And he invited me to one of his shows. So I ended up going to the show and I ended up getting photos of everyone. And I guess the vibe was good enough that they kept inviting me back. That kind of grew weirdly. Like, you go to a show, one band, you leave, four. And then more people started hitting me up for stuff. And like I had this weird stint in 2019 where I just like exclusively shot shows in Everett, pretty wasted on a disposable camera. And I'm not saying they were good. They were bad. They were very objectively bad. But for whatever reason, people just like affiliated that with like a good vibe and just kept bringing me around. Yeah, that's how I got into it. It's very different now.
So how did you get your start in photography? Like what was your introduction to that and kind of how did you get going after?
I'm 33 now. I had a camera put in my hand when I was like 2 or 3 years old. And I've just kind of always had one with me. I was raised under the ruse that my dad was a photographer. I think I've only seen him really shoot photos of a camera in his hand once, and that was like right after I got sober in 2021 and decided to take him on a cross-country road trip and like made him bring his film camera. But the whole ruse was like my dad loves photography. I was like given a camera and just taking a bunch of photos of my feet, and then over time, as you gain interest and you like gain community and lose community in life, the means of production and the reasoning behind that photography and video changed. Eventually I was handed like a disposable camera and then a little digital camera and then camcorders, and then I got into skateboarding, so obviously you do more stuff with that. And then I'm like shooting a bunch of like nice SLR film cameras and doing like skateboarding shots. And then I kind of had a pretty bad stint with alcoholism there, so I ended up just burning all of my bridges, thus part of the last story. And when you're alone, you don't really have people to shoot anymore, so I started doing street photography. Because I was like, well, I don't have a subject, I'll just shoot buildings.
Yeah.
And I got really into that. And then eventually that all flipped when life started getting a little better. Yeah, it ended up turning into the concert photography thing now.
What does punk or the punk community or just, I guess, the DIY music local scene in general, what does that mean to you personally?
I mean, so much. I think it's like a vital access point, like for people to realize that not everything in life has to have like a paywall or like some sort of weird transactional relationship behind it. Like I was raised unintentionally. I think I convinced myself this was the way things were, but I was raised very transactionally. Like, if you do this, you get that. If you hang with this person, you get to go be around those people. And like, it was sort of the way it worked. And, the world, I feel like a lot of people are still pretty caught on thinking the world works that way of like, if only I had the money, if only I had the cool friend, if only I had this, if only I had that. And what's really nice about the ethos of DIY and the punk scene, and I've noticed other communities have this too, but it's super prevalent in like DIY shows, of where there's a will, there's a way. And where there's a good reasoning and a good push behind something, there's a good support for it. So there's not really like the paywall and like all these wild things that people have to go through. It's like more equitable, I think, which is what I love about it. Like people stand for each other, they give each other a chance. And also they make do with whatever means they have. And usually the end result, which is really cool because I've done like bigger shows and stuff too. Like I went on a tour a couple of years ago, the only tour I've ever gone on. So I'm not really saying that I'm like super vetted, but I went on this one tour with a handful of bands. They're like mid-big. They can't touch what DIY has. Like I've been in like 1,500 to like 3,000 cap venues with like headliners that have like entire crowds screaming their lyrics and the merch that matches them and lighting rigs and all of this stuff, and it's just like it seems so devoid. Like it's all like a numbers game, or how can you like financially get this asset? And people like they talk about trying to care and they talk about like the fans, but they don't know a single fan's name. Never. They don't talk to anyone after unless they paid. And it's more trying to figure out how to get things going for like an algorithm and how to get things going for like their image than it has to do with heart. And what I really like about the punk scene is where those kinds of shows, they are amazing. They're spectacles. Like, don't get twisted. I am a big fan of big shows. It's just really hard to be personable the way that we are and accessible the way that we are at that tier.
Yeah.
They feel very much like going to a zoo. Like you go to a zoo, you get to see really cool things you normally wouldn't see in life. You get to see like lions and you get to see walruses and you get to see all these like crazy different animals that you're probably not ever going to interact with. And it's like, whoa, like that's really nuts. You can't touch it. And low key, like they're kind of just stuck in a box. And you're on the other side of the glass and you get to watch things from this box. But DIY and punk is like going on a forest path and having a camp robber land in your hand. Or like, it feels like de-snaring like a coyote's foot. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a little wild and it's kind of scary at first, but like if you're willing to trust it, it'll trust you and you get to like interact with it fully hands-on. I love that more than anything.
Yeah, that's a really cool analogy. It really makes a lot of sense that that barricade or that barrier between the audience and performer on a big level, on a macro level for like national acts and like big concerts and stuff. Like, yeah, it's totally that. Like, you're just watching, you're not participating. Like, sure, you're with however many hundreds or thousands of people that are all there to watch the show, but yeah, there's no interaction with the music. There's no give and take. There's no heart, really. But you take it to a smaller level in a local scene, a DIY show, and there is no barrier. Like, that same person that you just watched on stage, you are going to see 5 minutes after their set at the merch booth, and you can go talk to them. And, if they're cool enough, they will be in the pit for the next band. Big distinction there. And I really appreciate that analogy. That was cool.
Of course. I mean, if you're lucky, you might even end up going to Denny's with them after.
Yeah, for sure.
I like doing that for a bigger act. I feel like another thing too is an important distinction as well is I think bigger concerts, they are really important though, because I think a reason why a lot of the audiences as well are a lot more stagnant is because since it is so widely promoted and really, really accessible, maybe not financially because they cost more, but accessible for like being made known of it because of the advertising campaigns and pushes that go behind it, they act as a really good access point for people that don't even know that concerts and music scenes exist. Like I will say it feels very much like a Zoomies compared to like a 35th North, of Zoomies being like a mall brand skate shop. But also I got some of my first things for skateboarding from Zoomies. The first place I ever heard of that sold skate shoes was Zoomies. But as you become more indoctrinated into the culture, you learn of like the core things and the core values if you really, really like get hooked. And then you end up doing things like going to 35th North that my homie Tony owns, and it's like really, really centric for the values of the community, and it's not about just like trying to make a quick buck and like paying your workers on commission. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like that it has its place and it is really important, but the smaller scale is it's also amazing. I will say it's also really funny though. One of the things that really told me that the crowds in big shows were different was when I was on that tour. If anyone's seen me in the punk scene, they know like I get down, but like I'm not like pit god. I'm not even close. I'm on the sides like 95% of the time.
Yeah.
But I was the guy starting the pit in like 1,500 cap venues. And everyone else was just like really confused, like didn't know what to do with their hands because they're not used to going, you know? So like they don't know the body language, they don't know like safety etiquette and things like that. But like when I'm the guy starting the pit, like you know that's like a different realm, dude. Because like I'm never the guy going hard.
So, what have been some of your favorite experiences so far in the music scene?
Knowing how many lives are still here, probably thanks to this shit, whether or not any of us realize it. Seeing kids whose arms are like covered in slice marks, healed and smiling at the front of the pit. Watching people that don't think they have a place become centers of their own little pockets. People that are nervous to talk to me one time being really confident talking to me later, realizing they don't have to be afraid anymore, that they have some place that's safe. I think that's like the best part. That's it. Like, the music is really cool. Mosh pits are dope. You know, I saw a guy do a backflip off Animal House. That's wild. But like that's nothing. It's knowing like what it does for these kids. It doesn't save everyone. Nothing ever will. But like
It'll save you if you let it. Yeah.
getting really sick of adding names to my memorial list, and anything that slows down that pacing is god tier to me. So DIY till I die, so you don't.
So what's your history with punk music or just like music genres in general? Like, what did you grow up listening to, and what are some of your favorite bands now?
Well, I'm a millennial as hell. Like not in mindset, but just in age. I would probably say I'm like a millennial Gen Z rising. Like if I was to like compare it to like astrology,
Right.
or maybe Gen Z moon. I grew up initially not really listening to a ton of music because that wasn't really my thing until I was like maybe in like 4th or 5th grade. So I guess that still counts as growing up, but I don't remember having any experiences earlier with music. I remember like when I started getting to like 4th and 5th grade, even 6th grade, I started, you know, watching a lot more TV, and MTV was still prevalent at the time. Like it wasn't all music videos. They started putting in like the reality TV, if you really want to call it reality,
Yeah.
stuff and all that. But I distinctly remember like seeing really early stuff like Modest Mouse and Franz Ferdinand, you know, like watching Float On premiere and like seeing that like video pop up on MTV, and like starting to see like you know, Franz Ferdinand and stuff like that. And then eventually as I got into like middle school and started hanging out with like cooler, preppier kids, even though like I never kept them as friends because I was a little crazy. I started getting more indoctrinated into like the classic like hip hop and rap of that time, like the Yang Yang Twins and like 50 Cent and like The Game and stuff like that. At the same time, there was this weird dichotomy, like this weird dual thing of like, on one hand, like I had a neighbor that was like hella preppy and he would listen to like all that stuff while like wearing Lacoste and like doing all this interesting shit. And then on the other hand, it's like my best friend in middle school was like the only gay kid at our private school. And like he introduced me like Flogging Molly and like The Casualties and you know, stuff along those lines. So like I'd be like thinking about stuff like that while simultaneously like doing hip hop. So I've kind of always had like at least 2 or 3 like main things flown around. But yeah, Zebrahead, Sum 41, you know, classic old stuff. Then as time went on, I started getting more into high school. Like I didn't realize this till way later, but I actually got really, really, really into local music without ever knowing they were local. I just thought they were bands that people liked. Like I was listening to like Blue Scholars, which is like a classic Seattle, like, you know, backpack rap hip hop group. I was listening to Idiot Pilot, which I thought was just like a really dope like techno post-hardcore band. I didn't know they were a 2-piece out of Bellingham. I found that out last year. Wow. And I'm like, damn, dude, I was like noted. I was listening to And You Will Know Us by The Trail of Dead, which apparently is like a classic like Olympia, like kind of punk adjacent, progressive-ish rock band. And it just sort of grew. You know, Dime Def, my homie Bean produced all that. And then over time, like as more things have been introduced, like it's evolved a lot. I've noticed like nowadays, I'll probably end with this statement because I will rant the rest of our time away. But like, I noticed nowadays there's this really interesting thing that happens of like, I like basically all music, like for the most part, as long as things are like in tune or at least intentionally out of tune, on beat or intentionally off of beat, made properly, I'll listen to whatever. But I noticed there's two different ways that I kind of go about it because like it all has to fit, right? So there's like music that I really love to like go see and like hang out at the show for. And then there's music that I like really like to listen to and I would hate to go to a show for. And the line isn't like super hard, but it's kind of interesting. Like one moment I'll be listening to like Lorem Ipsum and like Glaive. I think it's like Diane or something like that. Like this other interesting, like kind of hyper pop, kind of glitchy chick. Then on the other hand, I'll be listening to like Circa 40 and like My Better Half and like Shireen, just like all this like much heavier stuff, Foxglove. I really love going to the shows for like those bands, but I don't know if I could handle like the hyperpop stuff because it's like it's not the same energy. Like it's great, but like some things like really great to watch and some things are really great to just kind of like vibe with.
Yeah,
that's at least where I'm currently at.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's certainly some bands that I've really enjoyed seeing live, but don't really care to listen to their recorded output. And then there's some bands that are the opposite. Yeah, I think that's pretty normal. What is Pounding the Nail?
God, quick little thing I've been hinting at. So I'm 5 years sober, got 5 years like on the 13th of May.
Congratulations, by the way, man.
Thank you. Stopped using in May 2021. But before that, I was a little demon and I made all the mistakes people make, as one does. But during the time of my heaviest drunkscapade, probably like 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014 was when I was like really off the rails. Like I was like 19 to 22 and just going. Like any moment that I could get anything in my system, I'm gone. Like it didn't matter if it was like a frickin' kvass of like Kahlua. like had it in it, going down in me.
Yeah.
So I would always get messed up in my brother's house. Not a blood brother, but like brother. We were like people that skated at a skate park together all the time when I was kids over in Mill Creek. This guy, Jake Carlson. People would say that we really looked alike. So like if I was at the park and he wasn't there, people would be like, "Where's your brother?" When I started getting into like drinking and using and stuff, he was like my drinking buddy because he had alcohol at his house and I could just like get completely freaking obliterated out of my mind. And that was just normal. It was okay. And we just did that all the time, every night. But a thing about that was he had like a very conservative, like pull up your bootstraps dad who would always try to give us like these crazy pep talks, like in between like drinking stints of like, you need to go learn a trade. You need to join the Marines, blah, blah, blah. Like he was preaching using the whole Google kit before everyone was like Gmail, Google Drive, everything. But one of the things he was trying to tell me one time during one probably hungover or withdrawing morning, I don't remember. I just remember the conversation. Pulled me aside like he always does, and he was just like, Jim, like, yeah, just do something with your life, man. Like, yeah, like, at least go to college, like, if not join the Marines, like, at least go like a trade school, like learn how to pick up a hammer and just start pounding the nail, you know what I mean? Just get a useful skill. And like, you're gonna make mistakes, sure. You're gonna hit your thumb a few times, it's gonna hurt, like, whatever you learn from it. You gotta just keep picking up the hammer and pounding the nail. You're gonna mess them up, keep getting it straight, but eventually as you start learning it, you drive the first one down and keep tapping away at the second one, and before you know it, you built a house. You can move on, do anything else, just keep pounding the nail. I was like, uh-huh. Yeah, cool, man. And I went off my merry way and just was a ditz. A couple of years later, like 2013, I think, when I bought like a Sony VX because I was starting to do more like skateboarding filming. We all had YouTube channels at the time and Instagram pages and Twitters and Vimeos and Tumblr. God, Pounding the Nail has a Tumblr. Has not been updated in over a decade, but yeah, there's a Tumblr. I had to come up with a name for it. And for whatever reason, like in my little autistic brain, the term pounding the nail stuck in my mind from that little morning conversation. And I was like, sure, like I'll do pounding the nail. And it's kind of funny because it's like, it's stuck with me this whole time through every iteration of things that I've done. Like I did like skateboarding filming and photography. And then I started doing like weird art stuff. I like had an art show a few years ago that was pretty good, but low key, I still owe people a lot of art from. Because right after that show, I got an Animal House, and got back into concert photography after getting sober. So I just got swept away. And then I was like really broke and didn't know how to mail everyone everything. So I just have like a box of art that I owe people from 4 years ago. It's like kind of cooked. But yeah, Pounding the Nail has gone through like a ton of different iterations over the years. But it's always stayed. And that's the story of that.
I like that though. I mean, that's some good dad advice right there. Just no matter what's happening, no matter what you're doing, just keep pounding the nail.
Yeah, just keep tapping away at something. I ain't gotta get everything in one swing. Just keep working on it. It's fine.
Yeah, that's really good. So let's get more nerdy into photography here. I'm not a photographer.
Me either. Sometimes.
But like, what are some of the best things you learned, or when did you have like an epiphany moment in like concert photography when you realized that you were figuring it out, or like do you have advice for like young people just getting into photography? I know that's like 3 different questions, but
I'll try to unpack that. I feel like I'll just do another story time, and I'll try to really condense it, because I feel like storytelling will probably help that question more than anything. So when I first started doing concert photography again in early 2022, after cleaning up my act in 2021 and accidentally having the same thing happen at Black Lab Gallery again, but this time sober in 2022, it was weird. I went to Art Space, supported an art friend. Skater homie comes in with a band. He performs that night. I have a camera on me. I shoot it. They like the photos. I get invited to Animal House 2 weeks later, so on and so forth. It was a weird like life shift. Right when I started, I was not very good at it. I've been shooting for a very long time, and I've researched a lot of things, but like I never really devoted time to super learning about it as passionate as I was about photography. I just kind of like did it. I think it's a side effect of like me using too, was just like I didn't really care to learn or grow or change. I was just like, this is what I do. You should support my art. I'm the guy. And it was horrible. But when I had a little bit more wit about me, I started doing it semi-intentionally. And then with Animal House, especially after Punk Prom, the first one, I had this weird influx of like 200 followers, which was huge for me at the time and still would be a big jump, in like 3 days. And they were all like high schoolers, which first off was like, holy cow, why are you following Unk? And then also was like, dude, this is a lot of eyes on me and a lot of people saying that I'm the GOAT when I suck. Because like my photography was just dick back then. It was so bad. Like black and white to compensate for not knowing anything about colors. I just kind of threw sliders around in Lightroom. Didn't really know like how to adjust things to like give it an appropriate feel. My framing was okay, but I learned more things through like learning some cinematography stuff and having friends in film later. But that influx really like opened my eyes to be like, oh dude, like people care about this, and like this is low-key like doing a little bit of a service for someone. And that would be really whack if all these people believed in me and I suck. That would be really cooked. So I started like improving my stuff a little bit. And it was a stumble process. It's going to be a stumble process for anybody. You know, like I doubt anyone will get it quick. You know, I like overcorrected and then undercorrected and like constantly shifting. I mean, even still the needle moves a lot on like how bright my things need to be and what my ISO should be and like how I should frame this and whether I should shoot with a steady light or a flash or whether I should use no flash or whether I want the light in front or behind or whether I should do super high saturation or low or high contrast or low. Or I've adjusted it a lot over time, and I think I have a good feel now after like really focusing on this for the past like 4.5, almost 5 years of what feels appropriate at any given time. I have to say like there comes a point after learning all these different settings, you know, like there's important factors in it, of course, of like knowing how like your aperture being more open is like a lot lower contrast and also a lot more light and a lot more shallow depth of field, or the opposite with it being super close and things are super pointy and sharp and everything's in focus but it's darker, blah blah. Like those are important things to know. But there was something that came to me like in the past couple of years that I found was a little bit more important than that, although you need those skills to like make the other one count. And that was, I think, the 2 most important parts of photography, maybe 3 most important parts are, first off, understanding yourself as a person, like not even taking photos, like understanding yourself as a person, understanding myself as a person. Because if I don't understand me and my wants and my needs and my hopes and my fears and how to regulate those, I'm not going to understand anyone else's. So I'm going to be uncomfortable taking the photos, and everyone else is going to be uncomfortable taking the photos, and our relationship will stay very uncomfortable because I can't even handle myself, so you can't handle me, and I know damn well I can't handle you. What I'm trying to express with the photo, which is, at this point, the two things I want to express with any photo that I ever take is, first off, an appreciation for a moment of life that I think someone wants to keep, and an appreciation for my perspective to that moment of life. I think those are very important things. And then third off, just letting go and realizing that any moment is just a moment. You know, like even in like model shoots, portrait shoots, band profile shots and things like that, it's like there's like a clinically correct shot of like everything is framed perfect and the contrast and lighting is ideal. And then there's the vibe accurate shot, like the holistic shot. And I was so focused for so long trying to make sure everything was like framed really perfectly and super sharp and no blur at all. And like everything has the lighting from just the right direction and like all this. And I missed out on what made a photo of just being honest in the moment, like letting things like kind of feel, you know? And I mean, the knowledge of like the aperture settings, ISO, my color dials, blah, blah, blah. Like that helps inform the feel. I don't think I could get the feel as well without knowing those things. Like, you know, if I'm just adjusting something to hell to like force a moment to like be perfect the way I want it, it's going to feel very contrived. It's not going to look right. And like, it's going to feel a little off. Like, perfect instance, like if I'm at a show, right? If a show is really cracking, like if a show is doing super, super well, like the audience is popping, the band is popping, I'm really enjoying myself. You can figure out those things from context clues in a photo. Completely. If a photo is too well framed, if it's a little too well lit, if it's a little too sharp, if it's like no motion blur at all, nothing, that tells me that you had the time to dissociate from a moment that you should be enjoying enough to focus on getting your camera perfectly set up in place, making sure your settings are hyper accurate, resting for a moment, waiting for the singer or the guitarist or the drummer to get right to the moment that you want, taking that, adjusting it, and then editing it at home. And that tells me that you aren't really connected to the show. You're not really enjoying yourself because like you're separating yourself to this point of becoming like a clinical observer rather than a participant. Yeah. But like if a photo is like, and I don't do this on purpose at all. I had to break my tight habit because I had that tight habit for a while to get to this point. I don't do this on purpose anymore. It's just kind of how I feel things for shows specifically. Like if the photo's like a little off kilter and like someone's kind of like weirdly moving and there's just like a little bit of blur and like there maybe just missed focus a little bit, like there's this weird honesty feeling to it of like, you know, that they captured that moment because it was important to them and they really wanted to get it, but at the same time they were so damn present. This photographer was more focused on just like enjoying everything and trying to capture something than they were being like, yes, I must be perfectly in the rule of thirds. So it's those three things, you know. It's like making sure that I understand myself so I can understand others, making sure that I'm understanding of the relationships I have to people, and making sure that I'm translating that accurately is like the most important thing, you know. So I think those are like kind of the things I've learned the most.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. It's photography really is capturing a moment, and it's a moment for, I mean, especially at a show, it's a shared moment between everybody in that room. So it should reflect what's happening in that room from the vantage point of somebody in the room, not, as you said, like just a casual observer. Yeah. Besides photography, what else are you into? You mentioned skateboarding. You still do a lot of skateboarding?
Oh yeah, no, I just did a memorial edit for a bunch of dead friends, thus the slightly heavy tone. Yesterday. And that was really nice. I mean, I felt a little bit like a schizo, like asking my friend Bakari to let me land a bigger flip, but like I landed one, so I don't know how crazy I am. I skate a good amount. I love graffiti. I don't do it as much as I used to because I like to not be in trouble now that my life is straight.
Yeah.
But I'm a big proponent for the art. I enjoy it a lot. Some parts of the culture are gnarly, but some parts of me are gnarly, so like whatever. I used to do a lot of poetry. Writing, still like it, but like even finding time to draw is kind of hard. So like finding time to like edit the videos I'm behind on, and then edit the photos I'm barely caught up on, and draw. It's like I'm not writing nothing. Like I'll write it in my post. I'll say it over a reel, but like I'm not gonna take time out and go to an open mic like I used to.
Yeah.
I like long walks on the beach. I actually do. I love beaches and just walking around the ocean. Like
for
the
real.
ionized particles in the air from like all the salt water and brine like moving around. It's so healing. Like it makes so much sense to me why like Victorian and like older cultures would like send their families and send people off to the coast to heal up, because like it really is healing. Yeah. No, I got all sorts of things. Randomly, like I don't get to do this very often at all. I think I've only done it like twice or three times maybe. I love prop design. Like I made like this like super realistic tombstone with the help of Kate from Animal House. She got like the initial start of it going and then didn't know what to do with it. So I kind of just like popped off from there. But like I made like a super realistic tombstone for Animal House a while ago. During one of the art shows I had like back in I think 2020. I made like this crazy like textured like as if you cut a piece of graffiti out of a wall kind of wall thing. I like put realistic vines on it and like painted this like 90s style throwy and like dusted over it and like made sure the throwy was like really old looking, like it looks like you just walked under a bridge and saw it. Yeah, I love stuff like that. I just don't get to do it often because it's so time consuming. It's really messy. And honestly, I just don't have a reason to do it a lot of the time, but I love that. I love like prop making and set design. I wish I had more time for it. Like looking around my room, like what else do I like? I don't know, man. I'm sure if you put me in front of anything, gave me the time to do it and some nice people to do it with, I'd probably like most things. So, yeah. Those are just things I actively do.
Yeah. So shout out some local people in the scene. Like who are some bands locally that you think are really important to the scene, or you think more people should be aware of, and just like who are some unsung heroes?
Ooh. Unsung. 'Cause I know some sung. I think on a personal bias note, like massive shout out Colby from Caps Lock and his partner Cass, because like during like one of the gnarliest clusters of life events that I had last year, like they came through and like just swept me up out of the dark.
Yeah, good people. Very good people.
Dude, amazing people. Shout out Polish Matt for like single-handedly, I mean, I know it's totally not single-handedly, but it feels like single-handedly with how much he does. Like inspiring all of these kids to like do more with their work and like up their production quality, and like constantly giving them the tools to do it, and giving them like hyper autistic tutorials on it. I say that approvingly as an Aussie myself. Autistic, not.
I was just going to say, I wanted to make sure we clarify. That was Aussie, not.
Don't flip that.
Yeah.
No, but as an autistic, Aussie,
yeah,
well, sometimes say.
Polish Matt, definitely one of the hardest working people in the scene for sure.
Dude, Polish Matt is like a goat. Polish Matt is an absolute legend. Unsung. Oh my god. This is just like a slightly selfish plug, but like shout out The Hobby, like in a big way. Abe is like the sweetest being ever, and like their bandmates, Oli and Eric, are both like so tight siblings, very talented rhythm section there. But the reason I like have to sing them out is because I just feel like they're one of those bands that's like chronically slept on, like to the point where like maybe they should start screen printing pillowcases. Because it's just like, dude, like quick bit about The Hobby, like so quick. First off, Gabe is just like so sweet, but secondly, ridiculously talented, amazing stage presence, always really consistent, and has been producing amazing music since 2016. like Gabe in their parents' basement, like self-producing entire albums, dropped like probably some of my absolute favorite music that's come out of the Northwest. And like no one listens to it. They have like no listeners on Spotify, and I don't hear people hyping up their shows enough. I don't see enough people at their shows. Like their shows are getting a little better and like decent, but like it's just like, have you ever seen a band that like gets you like viscerally angry that like you're enjoying it and there's like not enough people there for how much you're enjoying it?
Yeah.
You know, like they're one of those bands where I'm just like, dude, like I don't know, like I don't think it's my job, but like I don't know what wire needs connecting, like what, but it's just like they're so good, but just no one goes for whatever reason.
I stand guilty. I've heard their name, but I don't think I've ever. I know I've never seen them. I don't think I've ever listened to them.
They're
I'll
they're
have to check that
amazing,
out.
absolutely amazing. They remind me of like I don't know, like a combination of like old Fallout Boy and like old Pierce the Veil with like a little bit of Silverstein, and it's like that's amazing to me that someone can match that, because they're so good. Who else? Because like I have people I want to shout out, but like unsung is important here. Hmm.
Sometimes oversung is cool too. I like giving people their flowers when they deserve it.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I mean, my better half, circa 40, always. Like, I never knew that, like, a bunch of, like, 17 to now 20-year-old kids would, like, help save me. But, like, last year when things were really rough, like, their music got me through it, totally.
Yeah.
Also, like, shout out Henry and Grayson from my better half. Like, they don't shoot anymore, but, like, when they shot photos, they were undeniably two of like the most relentlessly talented photographers in the scene. Like literally they like in high school, they won, I forget if it was a national or a statewide like award for photography. They're cracked, dude. Like they're really good. Yeah, I'm sure there's someone that's gonna be like, why didn't you mention me? But I don't know. If you're watching this, I care about you. I just might
There you go.
not be in the moment to think up dropping someone's name.
And now we get to the end part of the interview here, where lately I've been asking everybody the same question, and it's incredibly important to me, specifically in these challenging and sometimes scary times. What gives you hope?
I mean, probably a handful of things, really. Like, I mean, first off, I'm not dead. Like, not to be selfish, but like, I wanted to be for a long time. Damn near tried a few times. Not there anymore. Not even close. We're doing great. There was a time. And the fact that I'm here and that my life is so wildly different, and I get to watch other people's lives get different and get better, even when it's still hard and things get really gnarly and people still die. That's massively hopeful. The slow realization that reality doesn't matter as much as my perception of it and my response, that helps a lot, because news articles are really scary, talks of things are really scary, theories of events are really scary, but like experience and the lens in which I experience through is much more important than that. Because like I'll see things that are horrifying on the news all the time and like reposts of not great things that happen in my community, but then like I'll go anywhere and it's like I see at least like 5 smiling faces, and the teriyaki spot I'll go to still is amazing tofu teriyaki. So it's like I can trip on absolutely everything that I cannot control, and that will make it affect me worse, or I can accept that it's out of my hands and try to do the best that I can for the things that I can control, which is how I talk and how I act to people around me and myself, and whether or not I'm making anything worse. As long as I'm not making anything worse and I'm trying to do something for other people, that's like the best I can feel. Because I can't do nothing about that. I can't do nothing about the government. I can't do nothing about wars. I can't do nothing about no crazies on an island or anything like that. But, I can make sure like the kid at the punk show knows how to shoot their photos, and like some kid that wants daps, like it's hyped up, and someone going through an uncomfortable time has a listening ear. And I find that does a lot more for me than any story repost or any vote ever will. Honestly, one of the things that brings me the most hope is when I see things in life going really good and I had no involvement in them. Because first off, like I don't need the ego stroke of like thinking I did something for someone and like acting like I'm God. And secondly, knowing that even if I think things are not going to be okay and I'm tripping on stuff, like life does indeed move on and things get good. Like the emo scene, I've condensed it down to the emo scene, but it's a lot deeper than that. There's like post-hardcore and like melodic hardcore and like violins now and metalcore and all that stuff. Like that scene, I think what's really cool for me is I've watched it grow so much, and I've done not a thing. I've done not a thing, but be punk unk on the sidelines going, and that's it. And knowing that like these kids can come forward and revive something that I thought was dead a long time ago, and do it way better, way more inclusive, like seeing the ways that they've gotten to one up those things with like way less of like the racism, the homophobia, the sexism, and all that crazy shit that happened back in the day for like my generation, probably yours too, with things in that kind of like breed of music, and watching them bring that back, but like way more inclusive. Like the amount of like trans fronted like hardcore and like emo bands I know is so sick. Like it's so sick. It's like back in the day, like I don't know if that was really happening, and now it's like everyone has a voice, which is amazing. I think getting to see all of that gets me really hyped, because it just inspires me to like get back on the wagon and like keep going when I think like I just don't have anything to contribute and I can't do anything. You know, like watching people just like come out of the mud and just like do all this amazing stuff is like super inspiring to me and hopeful.
Hey, kids.
Hey, Dad.
What do you want to do today?
We don't know.
Do you want to go to the matinee?
No.
Do you want to go to the amusement park?
No.
Do you want to go to the punk rock show?
Yeah, let's go to the punk rock show.
Coming up this Wednesday, June 10th, at Daryl's Tavern, Absenter, Trash Panda Go-Kart, and Negative Passenger. That's Daryl's Tavern this Wednesday. On Thursday, June 11th, at Black Lodge is Cherry Pick, The Rat Utopia Experiment, Hot Stepmom, and Nestor. That's Thursday. On Friday, June 12th, Ashmarks, Anti-Summer, Hills and Valleys, and Low Flux. That one's at New Frontier. That's going to be a 21 and over show. On Saturday at Lucky Liquor is Sneer, Caps Lock, Mass Grief, and Nogginless. That's going to be Sneer's album release show. Make sure you check that out if you're able to in the area. That's Lucky Liquor on Saturday. Also on Saturday at Real Art in Tacoma is the South Sound Punkin' Oi Fest Day 1, featuring Defiance, The Last Responders, The Indicted, Vicious Cycles, The Scoffs, Proletarier, Taste Testers, Molotov Juicebox, and Sneer. And if you wonder why I said Sneer on 2 shows on the same day, that's because they are playing 2 shows on the same day. They are opening first up for the South Sound Punkin' Oi Fest on Saturday the 13th. I think they play at like 4. Double check the flyer for that. But they are first up for that show. And then they are headlining at Lucky Liquor the same day for their album release show. Huge day for Sneer, and I believe that kicks off their tour. They are going all the way down like California, Nevada, then back up. So that's South Sound Oi Fest, Punkin' Oi Fest. Day 1 on the 13th. Day 2 is on Sunday the 14th, and that's going to feature Big Time, Me Grimlock, Meat Beaters, Well Adjusted, Millhouse, Bridge Kids, The Disorderlies, and Just Barely. So that's the South Sound Punkin' Oi Fest at Real Art Tacoma, June 13th and 14th. A lot of cool bands. June 17th at Real Art, Kapala, Black Tracks, Spooky, and Gravebirth. Then on Thursday, the 18th at Woodland Theater, you've got Pie, Corliss, and Dangerous Fashion. Friday, June 19th, is the Kazi album release show. This one is going to be at Sprinker Skate Park in Spanaway. The first time ever a show being held at the Sprinker Rec Center It's going to be, I believe, on the actual skate park behind the rec center, which is cool. That's my neck of the woods. That's where Kazi is from. So this is really cool for them. And it's going to feature performances from Kazi, 100K Baby, State, and DJ QJ. They're also going to have like contests for best skate trick. I think they said they're doing a cookout. There's going to be all sorts of fun prizes. Of course, they're going to have their album there on record and CD. Totally stoked for that. So if you are into Kazi and you are in the South Sound, make it to that on Friday the 19th. It's going to be a rad time. Same day at Real Art is Body Shot, Kill Spree, Mad Choice, Curbside Carnage, and These Break Before They Bleed. The Saturday, the June 20th at Slice of Life in Tacoma is Sunbathe or Die, Manta, Mantle Collapse, Insufferance, and Nogginless. Also of note that weekend, the whole weekend, 19th, 20th, and 21st, is the Seattle Punk Rock Flea Market at Quality Flea Center. Definitely check that out if you're able to. Those are the shows that are happening. I do have to say I announced the next Grit City Punk Rock show, which is going to be on July 3rd. That is a big one for me, and it's a benefit for Gender Justice League. It's called The Big Gay Punk Show, featuring Pawnee's Revenge, Me Grimlock, Dangerous Fashion, Nogginless, The Unsundered, and Scribbles. That's going to be at Real Art Tacoma on Friday, July 3rd. It's the Big Gay Punk Show, a benefit for Gender Justice League. So fuck Freedom 250, fuck your 4th of July plans. Come hang out with us on the 3rd and watch some fucking cool bands and help support gender freedom and help defend LGBTQ plus rights, because every day it seems like things are getting worse, particularly for queer and marginalized folks. So come out to the show and show that you support the community. Give a little to this organization because they are doing a lot of hard work behind the scenes with legal shit to try and protect everybody's rights. So it means a lot to me, and I'm really excited to throw the show, and I really hope all of you show up because it's going to be really awesome. That's it. That's the show. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Jimmy, for doing the interview. That was a lot of fun. And thanks to all the bands that I featured on the show. You guys are all just absolutely killing it. Make sure you go follow these bands. Check out their music wherever you stream music, or get it on Bandcamp if you can. Go see their shows. Buy their merch. You know the deal. Support artists. Support live music. Support your local scene. Buy shit when you can. Tell your friends about it. And follow this podcast if you're not already. We're on every streaming podcast, I think, plus YouTube and Bandcamp. The Bandcamp is just a way to allow people to download if they want, and also to throw a few bucks my way if you want to. Really, it's just kind of my way of keeping control of my creative output here. Streaming platforms, once I push send, I have no control over that. It goes where it goes, and if Spotify wants to block an episode for whatever reason, they block the episode. If the YouTube link fucks up, then it fucks up. Bandcamp, I always have complete control. I put it up there. It's there until I take it down. And if I need to take it down or change something, I can do that easily. So that's my way of kind of controlling my own media output. Follow me, subscribe to the podcast wherever you want to. Also on YouTube. I'm pretty behind on this, but live clips from bands. I've got a ton more in my backlog I got to get up there. But regardless, check that out. Also, check out the Grit City Punk radio show specials. I've been doing one every month. I did one this month for June. This was the 3rd time. This is a really, really cool one. I'm really proud of this and really happy with the songs that I selected for. It's got big protest energy. So check that out. That is everywhere except Spotify, because like I said, Spotify likes to block shit, and they blocked all of my radio episodes. But never fear. You could get it on YouTube, unless you're like in Russia or Belarus or Israel or whatever, but fuck those places anyways. So check out the radio episode. It's like a mixtape that I make for me, specifically to you, the listeners. And I did a little write-up. It's on Substack. It's kind of like liner notes, just a few things about each song, links to their music, what have you. So that's on Substack. There's a link to that from the episode and vice versa. There's a link to the blog from the episode, if that makes sense. Check that out. I had a lot of fun putting these together. So that's going to do it for this week. Have fun out there, you guys. Be safe and have fun. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay hydrated. Jimmy wanted me to play a song from The Hobby at the end of this episode, and I was going to, but I have to put a pin on that. I'll get to The Hobby later. Maybe we'll do that next episode, because Sneer, I've mentioned them several times, have a new EP that's coming out soon. I don't have an exact release date from them, but it is coming sometime in the next week or two. It's called Arm the Poor. It's their brand new debut EP, and they're just dropping it and heading out on tour. They sent me an advanced copy of the EP. You could hear one of the songs on my aforementioned radio episode. I played the song Chinga La Migra on the GCP radio special. And I'm going to play another song for you right now, right here from the new Sneer EP. It's called Cybertruck. It's not out yet. It will be out this month at some point. Be on the lookout for that. I will, of course, post about it when it does come out. I fucking love Sneer. They are a goddamn punk band, and I love them so much. So check out this song from Sneer called Cybertruck. It's from their upcoming EP, Arm the Poor. This is Grit City Punk, signing out. Be good to each other, drink water, fight Nazis, fuck the system, and take care.
This has been a Jiggle Down Productions production.
What do they want? Take this way, Cybertruck, that Elon finger truck suck. You're all trying to piece of shit. How do you just start reprimanding? Your $8,000 home gets you very fucking fine. Wow! Billionaire Nazi scum. Just look at what you've become. Plastic 70! Think it's a bloody Cybertruck, stay on the road, you go fuck, touch the kills, and so do you, then down and study, get him down! Billionaire Nazi scum, are you proud of what you've done? There's people dying, children crying, but you only care about the cars you're buying.
Yeah, this is Jimmy Humphries, and this is Grit City Punk. I can do another one too.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Oh, shit. It's about to get real now.
yo, this is Jimmy Humphries, and this is Grit City Punk.
All right. It's too bad this is an audio-only thing, because, man, that would have really translated a lot better, but, you know, it's all good.
I think just the sound. Is this how people felt in the radio days? Or like when they only had
Probably.
like black and white film? Like, God damn, this rainbow is beautiful. Oh, my T-Max.